Hello, and welcome to another episode of Self Improvement for Women. I am your host, Hope Long, and today I have a very special guest. She has overcome so much struggle and strife in her life. She's a blogger and she has a desire to inspire. I would love to introduce you all to Renea Linsom.
Hello. Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to bring you on because you've been through so much in your life, and right now you're at a turning point. You're got your blog going, and you have all this success coming towards you, and so yeah, this is amazing.
It really is.
I'd love for you to share a little bit, about your story and like how you got to where you are.
Well, my blog is called Into the Sunshine from Out of the Rain. And that's a title that I have literally has been in my head ever since I was in middle school. And it just came to me one day and I said, I want to do something with that one day. And that day was about a year ago, but that was after the death of both of my parents in my 20s and just kind of going down a very dark spiral in my life that today will probably be one of the most darkest periods in my life because it was just the death of my mother was very sudden. um she was supposed to we had plans and she never showed, and then they found her, and so it was very dark. I was in college, away at school at the time, and so I'm an only child, so I was faced with having to make decisions that I wasn't ready for at that time.
Mhm.
And it was a very dark, it was very scary. I don't really think I knew who I was at all during that time. It was just kind of like, do what you need to do. The love that I had for my mother, I tried to replace it doing other things that really didn't help me, that only further made me dive into more depression, more pain, more anger, because I was angry with her for leaving me. So it was just very awful. But I learned some of the things, I think sometimes we hear things from our parents, and when adversity comes, we forget. But then I realized there was some things that my mom had taught me over the years that kind of came back to me a little bit later. And I thought I was paying attention after all. I really was listening. And as much as I didn't want to live anymore, I realized that I had a whole lot to live for.
Mhm.
Um, and did it take a day? Did it take 2 days? It took a long time. But after a few years, I finally realized that I still wanted to live, and I was blessed to graduate from school and left my home state, and I've been on the road ever since. The death of my dad was awful, even though I knew it was going to happen because he had Alzheimer's and dementia. Um, but it still was like I was 29. I was 28 with my father. I was 21, about to be 22 with my mom. So um, I was like, it was awful, but I was a little bit more grounded in who I was a little bit more at 28 than I was at 21. But it was, I learned a whole lot about you cannot wait to do different things, because when you lose your parents, that security blanket is gone.
Mhm.
And it's been gone from my life for so long. And I just, through that adversity that happened, there's some good that came out of that. Of course, what I traded all in to have my parents back, absolutely, I would. Because I can't imagine sometimes being in this part of my life without them, but there's a part of them that will always be here because they live in me. So um, is using that to help other people, because even though with struggle, you can still rise above even with struggle. But I think sometimes struggle kind of leaps you into your greatness, because if you don't know rain, if you don't understand what sunshine is, you don't understand the rain. So you kind of have to have both a little bit in life. So I want to use my life as a testimony for somebody else that you can make it. I didn't think I necessarily would make it every day, but I wanted to. And once I wanted to, it grew.
That's
So,
amazing. And like it's so important. Like I'm still 30, so right? I'm still young and I still have both my parents. And I'm like really, really blessed. And it's hard for me to even fathom what that's going to be like to go through that. And like hearing people speak about losing their loved ones, it doesn't have to be their parents, just anybody that's close to them, husband, wife, whatever it is. um it's almost comforting to know that people are still out here doing the thing, even though they lost someone that really was one of their guiding forces. And
yeah.
that is like really hard to think about. Like it gets me emotional almost, thinking about losing them. But it's so beautiful that you took that devastation and you did something with it. And I'm sure right now, they're very proud, and you said you carry them with you, and I think that that's beautiful as well.
So I have pictures in my room, in this room, of me and my mom when I was 4 years old, and then a picture over here of my dad. And I was just like, sometimes I kind of cut over and look, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to do this. Okay, like but yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So all this, grief and overcoming all this struggle really gave you kind of, as you put it the last time we spoke, a desire to inspire.
Yes.
And so I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about how you took this and like went into action and what has happened since then.
Well, it was about a year ago that I was thinking about, well, maybe I should blog about my development in my life. And I said to my fiance at the time, I said, I'm thinking I want to blog. And I was like, what do you think? And he said, Renee, you should do it. You should do it. And so I said, I didn't even put any research. I kind of just looked up blogging. I was like, what website should I do? And I just created one, paid, and I said, okay, I'm going to kind of go through my kind of life as I know it at that point. And it went from that into really going into so many things, because um, I didn't realize how much I love to blog, and I still love it a year later. And it's really a blessing, because I've been able to meet wonderful people like you. I've been able to meet just wonderful people that I would never have met if I wouldn't have stepped out. Was it a little weird for me? Yeah, but I think the anticipation
Mhm.
overrode the anxiety of being like, what if nobody reads this? What if I just go into blogging, where no one ever knows who I am?
Well,
The
it's
desire
amazing. You decided to start, and then like all of a sudden you were actually like helping people. They're reading your story, and it was just it was captivating for people. And that's so awesome. Just putting yourself out there turned into this massive project, you know?
it did,
That is so cool.
but you had to start. That was
That
the
is
that was the neat part. It's like,
that's the key, right? Taking the action. Um so you have your blog, and you had also mentioned that you're really passionate about living in your truth and teaching other women, or at least leading by example, to stop leading quiet lives of desperation, right? Or
right.
lives of quiet desperation, I should say.
Yeah.
So yes, tell me about that. And what advice do you give to women to for them to take action in their lives?
we as women have so many hats, and I saw some of the hats that my mother wore in taking care of me, because not only was she my mother, but she was I guess you could say, she was the bank manager. She was helping me with my homework, with the transportation, all that. So we as women wear so many different hats, but we cannot let those hats that we wear keep us from the things that we have always wanted to do.
Mhm.
um, I truly think that the mind of women is so amazing. It's so truly amazing to me, because sometimes I know a man will be like, I don't get how. I'm like, I do, because you can kind of see it. But it's, if there's something that you've always wanted to do, then I know it can be scary, but there are people out there that need what you have to give. And as much as sometimes you want to kind of settle and stay in one role, you are doing yourself a disservice, as well as the people that need you, because if you don't do it, then people won't walk into their healing, or they won't walk into their purpose, because you won't do it. I i'm only i'm only one person, but it means a lot that I've heard over this past year, or people have said, wow, Renee, you wrote that, and it really helped me, because I went through something like this. And I was like, wow. And I was like, wow. And it's bigger than me.
Mhm.
But it is, people may forget my name, but they may not never forget what I have written. And they may be like, wow, that really blessed me during this time of my life. So whatever your business is, even if it's not writing, writing is just my thing because I love it, but it may be speaking, or it may be a different business, but step out and do it anyway, because your life is going to be better for it, but then so is somebody else, and you pass it along.
Yes.
Don't just live life and be like, nothing good ever happens to me. I'm just, whoa, whoa, whoa. You have to let great things happen to you. And you can only let them if you bring them in to you.
Mhm. Yeah.
What you want. I know that you was talking about the law of attraction. Attract what you want, and watch how your life changes, because you're like, I deserve that. I need to have it. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have things.
Yeah.
Don't steal or lie to get them, but say, I deserve that. And you do.
Yeah.
And
It's like
watch
your
what happens.
birthright. I
Mhm.
love that, you know, because, well, I have my blog too. And like we kind of connected at first talking about this. And I
Yeah.
can so relate with you because, my blog started off as, for me being a recovering alcoholic, I was sharing the stories that these women, were coming to me and they were like, will you please write my story out? And I was like, yeah. And they would read their story after I had written it. And they were like, I feel so heard. And I feel so like it was like a release for them to know that their voice wasn't small. Like it was validating almost.
Yes, it
And
is.
when you find that you're like really helping people, I get chills when I think of it and stuff. And it gets me tingly because it's so much bigger than us, right? Like that
Yes.
is a whole nother human's life that you have impacted, and even in the smallest ways. And that's why it's so important for us to share our voices and to live our truths, because you never know who you're helping and how it's going to change the trajectory of their course of life. So I just love, 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 that you have this voice and that you're using it, and it's just so beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's sometimes it's a push, sometimes and you'd be surprised what is in you that you kind of didn't think about until a little bit later. I'm still in my 30s. I always thought about being a writer and writing books, but blogging and now wanting to write for other people didn't come until a little bit later. And now I'm like, I'm like, okay, I want to do this since I'm writing. I want to do this I want to do this too. I want to do this. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
See, and you're like taking inspired action. If you wake up and you're inspired and like you're ready to start your day, you're excited about your day, you know you're on the right track. You know your life is like you're right where you need to be. You're doing the things that you need to do. When you jump out of the bed and you're like, I'm gonna go do this today. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you feel all this creativity and this inspiration, that's how you know like you're on the path.
Thank you. That was confirmation because I needed it. I'm like, man, do these ideas, and I'm writing things down. I'm like, well, wait, okay, all right. Yeah. It really makes me happy to just be a blessing to somebody else. That's what life is all about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is even though you've been through things, even though, with your story, you've been through different things, but you can say it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. You don't have to let it kill you. You can continue to grow from it and take the lessons and keep growing.
Yeah.
If you don't grow, then you're not living.
Yeah,
You
there's
just
a happiness that comes with growth. Like
right.
there's an inner happiness that comes with that, because just staying stagnant, you're not really evolving mentally or emotionally. And when you're evolving mentally and emotionally, we're humans are not designed to stay in one place. We are designed to keep moving up, right? And so, yes, it's that creates a happiness in you.
Yes. Like now it's like when I get up in the morning and I'm like, okay. And I come in here, this room that we're in, I call it my writing lab. So I'll come in here sometimes and I pull out my tablet and I'll just sit in here and just write, write, write. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then I'll kind of get out of here and make dinner, do whatever I need to do around the house. But it's just that for like that couple hours, I'm just like, I'm in this zone.
Mhm.
And it's really a blessing because you never know what is in you until you're doing your purpose. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I really am doing my purpose. So I want all of you guys to continue to find yours because you're a winner and you know that you're a winner, but you've let different circumstances kind of shrink that fire that was on the inside of you. But I don't want you to extinguish it. I want you to let it grow and to do something with it because you deserve to be at the winner's table too.
That's
You
right.
deserve
Oh,
it.
that's
I want to see
right.
you there. I want to see you there. If you're gonna open up a boutique, I want to shop. Or if you want to, you're great with numbers. I'm not usually great with numbers. I want to be like, okay, whatever it is that you want to do, or if you write a book, I want to know what it is so I can read it. I love to read. So embrace your truth, embrace who you are, because you are wonderful and you are beautiful. And there's so much greatness in you. And you're a woman. And you're a woman, man. Oh my goodness. You came from just beauty. So embrace
Queen.
the beauty. That's right. That's
Yeah,
why I found this necklace and it
I
says
know.
queen.
I
And
saw that.
I was like,
I saw
embrace your
that and I was
queen.
like, yes.
Embrace your queenness because it's there.
That's right. Well, before we wrap up here, yes. So if you guys want to follow Renee, I've got all of her social media links here at the bottom. You've got to check out her blog. It's absolutely beautiful. The link is here too. And she's a real person. You can actually reach out to her and speak to her if you have questions. Like, I don't know, maybe you're going through some grief stuff and you need somebody to talk to. Renee is definitely your girl. And if you're starting a blog and you want to talk about blogging, Renee is definitely your girl. We could talk about blogging for hours. So I
Yes.
just want to thank you so much for coming on. This has been so awesome. And I think that you are an absolute joy. And I just love your story and I love your writing.
Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. I'm so proud of you.
All right, you guys, we are going to wrap up, but we will see you next time.
Bye.